It's a health crisis that's vexed officials for more than 5 years, the so-called Havana Syndrome that's beset hundreds of diplomats with cognitive and balance issues. It had been assumed it was an act of aggression, perhaps a weapon used by a foreign nation. But on Wednesday, the CIA rattled nerves by ruling out hostile acts.
Unless we see their data as to how they came to their analysis, just making this broad blanket statement is worthless.
The interim findings lay blame on environmental factors or pre-existing conditions, in many cases that occurred outside of Cuba.
Something happened to those people in Havana.
Dr. James Giordano has consulted with the State Department in its investigation and says while the vast majority of cases are circumstantial, those initial cases in Cuba are worrisome.
These individuals presented not only with subjective symptoms, but with objective clinical signs that are both qualitative and quantitative that support that something physical happened to those individuals.
Mark Polymeropoulos came down with the symptoms while serving in Moscow.
This was the most terrifying experience of my life.
He's concerned the CIA hasn't investigated enough reports, while lawyers argue it's all about saving face.
Our view is that this is a public relations response because many of their people have been declining to go overseas to serve in different capacities.
It's not just American diplomats searching for answers. More than 24 Canadians are suing Ottawa, accusing the government of mishandling their concerns.
The Canadian government, I believe, has not been transparent on this.
The case argues Ottawa hasn't done enough to protect its staff.
The diplomats, in our view, have been forgotten and essentially thrown under the bus.
Amid the search for answers, new cases have been reported, including an incident in Vietnam ahead of a visit by the vice president last August. The U.S. now investigates these as anomalous health incidents, although Giordano believes a directed energy weapon can't be ruled out.
The availability, viability, and therefore validity of these types of devices is apparent and has been recognized for a long time.
With no definitive explanation for dozens of cases, the investigations do continue, only without accusations that could lead to increased political tensions. Reggie Cecchini, Global News, Washington.